Korey's going to come up and share some news as well. So, welcome this guy. Look at him. Wearing T-shirts to church.
I want to say I look sharp. I have butterflies on my shirt, but
You look pretty. That's what it is.
yeah. Is it more or less masculine to have butterflies on your shirt? More. I appreciate that, guys. Don't tell me if it's less. Yeah. So I am up here to, sorry, talk about I am going back into full-time missions. Thanks. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I will be going back up to YWAM with Danny, Isaac, and Hannah for 2-year commitment. I'll be up in Cascade, hopefully middle of August. That's the goal. And then, yeah, so I'm just kind of up here to talk about that, what that looks like, how I got to that. So I don't prepare speeches, guys, or when I come talk, I don't prepare anything. I just kind of like run it through my head a little bit, a couple minutes before, and we just wing it. So, yeah, what do I start with? I guess I'll talk about kind of like how I'm kind of at this point, or kind of how we got to here. I hinted at it a little bit when I was talking about FCA with Sam. But yeah, when I got back a couple days before Christmas. Yeah, I think so. Got back a couple days before Christmas. Got back doing a lot of things, went right back into the workforce, started selling lumber and doing electrical. And just like, as I've been doing that and doing everything, like been doing Bible plans with people, been doing local outreaches by myself, helping lead the youth group, going into that. I was doing a lot of that, and I wouldn't say any of that was bad, but as I kept doing it, as I kept trying new things and just adding on to fill something I wasn't able to, and I expressed to you guys that I was like, I finally gave my yes to God. And I think that looked like just me not doing things that were inherently bad. Like I was doing a lot of good things, following Christ, doing what he's like asked, like doing things that are biblical, but I wasn't doing what he was asking me. And that I think he was asking me to go back to YWAM for a while. All the YWAMers said that I was being disobedient. If you know them, it's just a joke, but they said the whole time they're up there, like, when's Korey going to be obedient and come back up? Because I guess they'd been praying about it and they knew, so I should have maybe listened to them. But yeah, I've just been everything with work and just doing everything. I've been trying to, I guess, feel at peace with what I've been doing, and I haven't been. And then one day I was kind of sitting around. I'm like, all right, Lord, like, why am I having such a hard time just being content with what you're having me do right now? And he's like, well, you're not doing what I want you to do. And I was like, well, I don't want to do what you want me to do. It's not what I want. And I tell people a lot of the time, like, ultimately we want to get to a point where our will lines up with God's will. And I was not at that point. I was trying to make God's will line up with my will instead of my will line up with God's will. And I felt real convicted after I preached that to someone, and I was like, I'm not doing that at all. So I was like, all right, I'll do what you want. I messaged YWAM, and I sound really mellow tone right now, guys, because I'm not upset that I'm going. I'm really excited to go, but I am disappointed in myself for not being as faithful as I could have been. But we're here now. So yeah, I messaged YWAM. I messaged the director. His name's Grant. He's awesome. Told him that I was thinking about coming back. He sent me the link. I signed up. Talked to Chris about it. And yeah, so now we're kind of here. And I wanted to share about like everything with the youth group, what that looks like, because I did tell you guys that we were working towards that. Me and Chris were working towards that. I stepped down from that a couple weeks ago. I told Chris after one of the services, we were talking, we had a couple conversations before. So yeah, I think a lot of that, by no means do I think God's calling me away from working with the youth. I think that's going to be my target while I'm at YWAM as it is just working with the younger generation, my generation. I think that's where he has me. That's where he's called me. And that's where I see the most fruit come out of ministry that I do. So by no means is he calling me away from that. But I think he's asking me to be uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think I am more than comfortable being here, because my will is to be here, work a job, start my business, make money. Like that's my will. And YWAM is pretty opposite to that. And I think he's asking me to be uncomfortable, which I'm okay with. I'm a very go with the flow kind of person as it is. So yeah, that's kind of how I got up to that point. That's how I am. That's why I'm up here right now, sharing with you guys, talking to you. I'm super excited to go there. I'll be up in Cascade for 2 years. The next 2 years, the goal is mid-August to be up there, hopefully. And yeah, I'll just be going in the 1040 window, which is Asia and Northern Africa. I'll probably end up in Japan again, Nepal. The Himalayas would be sweet. I want to go to the Himalayas. But yeah, that's kind of how I got to here, and I just wanted to explain that and where I've been at with that little journey. My plans and like what I'll be doing up at YWAM. So when I get up there, they're running a DTS right now, which is a school. Danny's staffing that. I'll just be background staff for that for a little bit. So I'm just going up there working on the base and helping the community out, just doing local outreaches. I won't be going into another country until their January school, which is called the endurance track, which is it's a fitness-based school to like reach the 1040 window is like the hardest to reach nations. The endurance track is like reach the hardest to reach people groups in those nations. So that is where I think they'll be having me start. I'll be leading that school. Hopefully that's what they've been kind of hinting at. So we'll be doing that, and it'll just be a lot of off and on, like either just base ministry or in another country leading schools, kind of doing what I was doing as a student, but just leading it out. And what I'm doing currently, because I said mid-August, I did quit I quit. I gave my 2 weeks 2 Mondays ago. So Friday was my last day. I did that because I wanted to get into full-time ministry as fast as I could have. So this week I'll be up at Warm Lake at YWAM's church camp. I'll be running a church camp for a different church though. And then that next week I will be back support raising and trying to earn enough money to live up in Cascade, because I can't work a full-time job. If any of you guys didn't know that, it doesn't work when you travel to another country all the time. So yeah. And then I will be in Seattle doing FCA. It's Fellowship for Christian Athletes, same thing that we were doing. I'll just be at the Seattle camp. And then I'm going to go visit my friend Tony in New York that week after. If any of you guys know Tony, he's awesome. He does missions. He's in Mexico right now at Rancho Genesis staffing there. And he's leaving for college. So I'm going to go surprise him and hang out with him a couple of days right before I leave. So, and then right after that is the hope to be moving up to Cascade full time, leave home and just kind of go do that. So that's the goal for that and what I'll be doing until then. What else? Oh, what I'll be doing after. The hope is I don't know what I'll be doing after my 2 years is up. I've kind of come to a point where I need to trust the Lord and stop planning what I want, because I put too much focus into my wants and my desires and my emotions, and I just work too hard to get to that, and I don't spend enough time just kind of going with what he's asking me to do. So I want to tell you guys what I'll be doing after 2 years. Everyone's saying I should have a plan. I don't. My plan is just to do what God's asking me to do. So that looks like living in India. I'll do it. Or if that means coming back here, I'll also do it. So,
Like how you equate living in India with living in Melbourne.
I prefer to live in Melbourne, to be honest with you guys. But I would live in India if he asked me to. He has to ask me to, right here. But I'd do it.
I think on my part as pastor and Korey's friend as well, a mentor, I think a lot of this was stepping into ministry here and coming back and finding, and I think this is something that I heard years and years ago, that when God calls you to something specifically, he won't let you be satisfied anywhere else. And that's what Korey has been experiencing, even in ministry here, where it was successful and building relationships here and doing things and all of that. But there was that lack. And so what Korey and I sensed together was that, okay, then God is clearly calling. I think two things really. God has a specific call on Korey's life, which he has calls in all of our lives to follow him. Sometimes he has a very, very specific area and a call and ministry that he wants us to do. I think the other part of that is there's growing that needs to be done. Years and years ago, decades and decades ago, we would have said, well, Korey, you need to go to Bible college. You need to go to Bible college. You need to study for 4 years. You need to do all these things. And Bible college is still an option today, but not always. And especially when you go into ministry, to then go in with that amount of debt that most often Bible college brings on. Whereas actually being in the field and being mentored on a regular basis by people your age and older, who can very intentionally walk you through that. And so I've seen Korey step into that with me, but also with Grant and Isaac and Danny and others, will be able to mentor him. And so what my hope is that through this step, that Korey continues to grow into the man of God that he was created to be, and being in that place. So it's kind of like a Bible college experience, because you're committing to 2 years. You're not getting paid to be there, just like college.
Guys, I'm not getting paid. Trust me, I know.
But just like Bible college, it does cost, because you still have to live. So what does that look like?
I hate this part.
You love this part.
I love this part. Sorry.
You're like me. You love to talk about money.
I love talking about money, guys. I've told you guys this. I like to be very self-reliant. I don't like asking for things. So I'm gonna very beat around the bush here on this. But yeah, so I will be up in Cascade. One of the requirements for YWAM is I'm not allowed to have a job. It's specifically in red letters. Actually, you cannot have a job, for the fact that they just want me to be fully focused on the students, on the ministry, on the nations, the unreached peoples, and not worried about finances, because ultimately I do know God will provide for me in that. He is already providing. Today's my first day of actually support raising, of officially starting, and he's already started providing before that. So yeah, but basically the base requirement is $1,000 minimum of monthly support. They want you to shoot for 1,000 minimum, because that's to cover your bare needs for the base. So in order to live there and to eat, basically, and cover your outreach. And then there's outreach requirements. So we have, as staff, you have a discount on your fees. Kind of the students pay so I paid $8,400 for my school. The staff pays like $2,000 and then their plane tickets. So they have a cheaper fee, but the 1,000 minimum does not go to that. So you have to raise support for each outreach. And then they say 1,000 minimum. They want your goal to be somewhere around the 2,000 mark. So that is my goal currently, is to raise around $2,000 of monthly support that pays for the base fees, and then to actually live in kind of, I don't know how to describe it, because it is a full-time job. My job is to be in the mission field, is to tell people about Jesus, and not everybody always understands that, especially if you're not in the church like everyone here is. So explaining is just I live off of support from you guys, but it is a full-time job, and that is why I guess the amount is $2,000. If that seems high it doesn't seem high to me, because I make more money than that, and I'm giving that up. That's a hard thing for me, guys, if I'm going to be honest with you, the giving up just that comfortability of making money. And that's been a huge struggle I've had. That's been a huge spiritual battle, is fighting the enemy in that. Because after I said yes to God, I had a lot of job opportunities that were very, I would say, very successful for a 19-year-old male. It would set me off a lot, way better than a lot of people who've worked 50 years for that. So it's been a huge spiritual battle. It's been a huge struggle, just figuring out the whole money thing. I do trust God in every bit of that. If he wants me to live off of 1 penny, I'll live off of 1 penny. I can do it just fine. I've seen people do it. And if he wants me to live off of $1,000, $2,000, or however much he wants me to do, I'll do it. I know what he asks me to do with money, and how to put that towards. So that's kind of what everything's going to be happening with that. I'll leave it at that. I'm not huge on the whole money talk, because I know he will provide. If you guys want to partner with me in that, I would love to talk to you guys about it. Not right now, because that'd be awkward. But I'll be here for potluck. I'd love to talk with all of you guys just about how support looks, what I'll be doing, things like that, so forth. But more importantly, I want to ask just for prayer, because you guys are a part of this, indirectly, directly, however you want to look at it. You guys are a huge part of the mission field, whether you guys know me or don't know me. Just prayer from the church, prayer from each person individual is a huge help. It got me through my DTS. I had a very hard time, especially in Japan. And then I got a letter from you guys in Japan, which really helped me kind of finish that out. So, yeah, just prayer for the spiritual battles that I'm facing now. I was up until like 2 a.m. last night, guys. Like, I could not fall asleep. I was wrestling all night. I was just having a hard time with being okay with leaving and everything. So, just prayer for that. Prayer for Satan to shut up. He's a jerk. I don't like him. Yeah, and just prayer to be comfortable doing the uncomfortable. I can sleep on the ground and poo in a hole for 3 months straight. That's fine. But dealing with someone who's got severe depression, trying to help explain to him how that works, and that's not God, that's the enemy. Like, that's a lot harder. So just prayer requests for the spiritual battle and carrying other people's weights and teaching and learning and just, yeah, being able to be a teacher to people and share, disciple, equipping me in every way. Yeah, that's all I can really ask for. Sickness, prayer for sickness. I didn't get sick while I was at YWAM, so thank you guys for everyone who prayed for that. I got a cold maybe, and like I ate some foul food. Like, I should have been sick. Prayer for, I just found out I have a new allergy apparently. The 4th of July I almost died. So
You're allergic?
no, we don't know what it was. I have to get tested. But yeah, I did actually almost die on the 4th. I went to the ER right before the fireworks started in Melba. So if those were cool, tell me about them. I missed them. But yeah, I ate something I guess my body didn't like, and I was like, after like 5 minutes, I couldn't feel my fingers or my hands, and like breathing got a little hard. I was like, I don't want to worry anyone, but I didn't like it. But we're okay. We got to the ER, and they pumped some stuff in my system, and whatever they did. And yeah, so just prayer for whatever that allergy is, and hopefully it's not something good and something bad for me. Then I just gonna be like, yeah, I can toss Doritos. That's cool. But if it's peaches, we're gonna have a hard time.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. I think so.
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah. I think on the church's behalf, we're sad by that, because to see your effectiveness and your growth in that, and the ministry that you already have here. And for me, I'm sad for that. But I also know from walking with the Lord that he often calls us into these kind of things that makes us grow and pushes us in areas where we don't want to go. And it usually doesn't make sense when we try to make sense of it. And so everything lines up with how God's worked in my life as how God's working in Korey's life. And so we're grateful for that. And we know that just as Paul was asking for prayer from the churches, that we should be praying for Korey, because he can't do this on his own. He's capable, gifted young man, but he needs the Lord and the Spirit and the power of the Lord to overcome the enemy as well. So we're going to do that. We're going to pray for him right now together, and just invite you all to join me in that. You can turn the mic off. Do you want to hold it? Okay, gotcha. All right. Lord Jesus, we thank you for Korey. I thank you for what you've done in his life. Thank you that we've been blessed to see your hand at work and your plan at work in his life for many years now. And Lord, I thank you for the growth that's happened because of your hand and your plan. And God, I thank you that through that, Lord, you've reached others and encouraged others. And God, I thank you that you continue to have plans and your hand continues to be upon him. And so God, I pray for him that you would give him exactly what he needs. You give him exactly what he needs spiritually, emotionally, relationally, mentally, Lord, and just in the physical area as well, Lord. That you would give him everything that he needs to fulfill the call that you have upon him, Lord. That you would give him the mind to understand your word. That you give him a heart that yields to you quickly. You give him a spirit of humility, Lord, before you, but also just tremendous worship. And Lord, that you would equip him, Lord, with the words to share your gospel with those who are near and those who are far away, with those who speak different languages than him. You would equip him with the words that every time he opens his mouth, Lord, that you would be putting the words in his mouth to be able to speak. And Lord, that you would equip him, Lord, especially with the relationships around him, Lord, to continue to mold him, to sharpen him and mentor him. I think of Greg's shirt that I saw this morning. It says, "Iron sharpens iron." Lord, would you supply him, Lord, with many men of God who are iron to Korey and sharpen these things in him. And Lord, would you help us, Lord, to know how to pray, to be reminded to pray, to know what to give, how to give, and Lord, how to support not just him, but the missions in the entire world. And Lord, help us as well to step into your plan and your will for our lives. And we pray it all in your awesome name, Jesus. Amen.